Hey y'all, it's Alex, and I'm back. I 100% did not intend to leave you guys for the whole of 2020 and 2021. I've done so much art in the time I was away, but we will be able to go through all of that. I have a good few sketchbook tours to go through, but we're very close to the end of this one, and I wanted to challenge myself. So I decided I wanted to go through and fill up this one page with as many things as I possibly could. The original idea was just to use one prompt word, so I picked insects, but I realized that my brain kind of wasn't working with it, so we pick a few as we go through, and we're going to fill up this page as much as possible, with a little help from my assistant. So I'm going to use this video as kind of like a, why did I go on a unplanned hiatus, and then my art goals for 2022. We have a lot of page, we have a lot of time. But why don't we get this started on why I left? So throughout 2020, I kept popping into YouTube saying, hey, I'm back, and then posting 1 to 3 videos, and then disappearing back into the void. 2020 was an incredibly hard year for my creative process. I didn't know what I wanted to draw, and then a good chunk of the time, once I drew it, I just didn't want to look at it. And I did create a great amount of art through 2020, but all of the pieces that come to mind come from the very end of the year when I really started to get my speed again. I thought about coming back to YouTube around then, but that was right when I had discovered TikTok, and it was incredibly refreshing to be able to do short form content, because the way that I edit YouTube videos, in my original video plan I had for this, I made an entire equation to show just how long it could take me sometimes to edit one of these YouTube videos, just because of how I edit them and how particular I am. Long form content really is a time sink. First, you gotta have the time to be able to put into that. And 2020 was not my year for having time. And to be honest, neither was 2021. I kept thinking I was going to come back to YouTube, but it just never quite ended up happening. It was also really hard to sit down and edit YouTube videos for them to not get very much viewership. I know that's not the point. I know you're supposed to make content just to make content, but at the same time, it does suck to put a lot of time and energy into making sure not just the art is perfect, but the presentation, and then, I don't know. It's just something that I really got bummed out by a lot in the course of 2021, or 2020. And already a lot of things were bumming me out, so I cut off all the things that were bumming me out that I could. I took control of what I could control, and I think I'm finally ready to start coming back. Reason number 2 that I went away, I came back from a summer hiatus in 2020 in time for Inktober. But in September was when we got our new cat, Gigi. And he has aptly earned his nickname, the Stink Bug. He is a stinky man, and he is a little chaotic love bug thing. At the beginning there, taking in Gigi was very difficult, and that was happening at the same time as the prep for Inktober, and I kind of had a small breakdown at the thought of having to spend my nights making sure he wasn't literally eating the carpet off the floor. The thought of doing the level of production that I did for 2019 literally made me quit all YouTube thoughts. I did finish my Inktober for 2020. I will probably have a video going over all of that. It's not the worst Inktober I've ever done. I will just say that. We will have future videos going over all of my art of 2020 and 2021, but those will be for a later time. Next section is what to catch you guys up on. So in the meantime of me being away from YouTube, I've actually taken a lot of really good first steps for myself and conquered a few of my art goals that were just kind of like vague goals I had said to myself at one point or another. Like, I've always wanted to improve how I draw furry art, and as you can see from one of the characters on this page, that's something I'm way more comfortable about. And animals. There are so many animals on this page, and I'd never drawn a cute looking animal before this year. This is legit, like over here in this corner, I'm gonna, like, here on screen is what my animals used to look like. And I finally got myself to draw animals and start drawing paleo art, which is something that I'd been trying to do since easily 2016. So I took some good first steps in broadening my subject matter for my art. And I still say I'm not 100% comfortable with color usage, but I feel like it's getting better. I'm starting to be able to pick color palettes on my own. Wow, just dumping on all the Sharpies, huh? Anyway, another thing that happened in early 2021, and if you hear some weird crunching noises in the background, Gigi is currently biting his scratch pad, and that's just who he is. One thing that happened in early 2021 that I'd been trying to make happen for years and years, I finally opened my print shop. And it has developed more towards me doing stickers. I am now making my stickers at home. That is a whole process, and I'm still not 100% on it, but I am working on it. I have prints of a lot of my favorite art from the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021 up on there. There's a series that I'm actually very much looking forward to doing videos on from here on, and I've also opened up commissions. I'm looking forward to be able to do more product work, and I might start selling originals. I'm starting to run out of room in my studio for actually holding on to stuff, but that is something I'm still grappling with because it's a little scary for me to let go of the things that I create, since I started posting all of my stuff to social media after years and years of being a stupid little deletionist, and getting rid of all of my art from the point where I started drawing all the way up through high school. It's still a very low blow whenever I say it. If only I had a time machine. As for my art style, I'm kind of at that brink where I don't quite know what aesthetic I want to move towards. I also have no idea what branding I want to do for my shop. I've been testing out a whole bunch of different ideas. None of them have 100% hit me quite the way I want them to, but it's all going to be a process. 2021 was a really good year for my art, I will say. I managed to hit 17,000 followers over on TikTok, which linked down below if you are interested in following me over there. I pretty much completely ignored the sinking garbage truck that is Instagram, but I'm trying to give it the time of day now. I'm also trying to completely update my DeviantArt. It's been a bit of a slow process considering I decided I wanted to go all the way back through 2016 to re-upload stuff to DeviantArt because why not? It's actually been a pretty rewarding process to go through and be able to organize everything in my personal files again. I was really on top of that for most of 2019 and then the beginning of 2020, and then it fell off super hard. Like 2021, I didn't have a single picture on my phone other than the ones that I was just going to use right then and there and then delete. Boy, what are you doing? Boy! Is there something you need, sir? He's trying to become a bat, I guess? My upside down man? Ew. Almost falling out of my chair. Oh! Oh, Gigi! Honey. Alright, that fun little, interlude aside. He's alright, I promise. That has happened a good few more times since the filming of this video. But, there's another few social media that I've been trying to get into as well, but most of my focus has been over on my TikTok, where I've been able to post pretty much almost daily. Other than things going great for my art, it was a rough year for my personal life. I had emergency surgery in May. My grandma passed away in June, and then I ended up having to quarantine through all of Christmas this year and New Year's because I ended up getting COVID. Like, my parents got COVID before Christmas, and then I got COVID before New Year. So there were some emotional kicks in the teeth that happened this year, but I still have an amazing support network. I still am incredibly lucky to have a very close family. I'm also incredibly lucky that this year was not plagued by the same amount of creative doubt that 2020 was. Because I think somehow 2020 still feels darker. And this got way more emotional than I was ever planning on it to, but I'm just happy I can create. Whew. So, the emotional part is over. Wow, yay, 2021 is over. We are looking forward into 2022. This year, I'm really hoping that I can continue on the good journey that I have, knock on wood. I think this is the first time in a long time that New Year's hasn't meant an entire art style change. I've found more or less what I want to do, but I'm still kind of stretching myself across a few niches. I've got my human art, my furry art, and my animal art. And I'm not quite sure which I want to make my proficiency in. Because now that I've spent a little bit of time, there was a good few months where I drew nothing but furry art. Like in one of my sketchbooks, I think it was sketchbook 24, I started in August, I want to say, and then I didn't draw a single human in it until October. And that is including the fact that I filled it up by doing my Inktober in it. We'll get to that sketchbook tour. It's gonna be a fun one. But I practiced super hard on my furry art for a little while, and then took a break with practicing drawing animals, which was super fun, and I'm not quite sure. I know that I want to practice even more with animals. Like, they're just so much fun now that I can actually draw them. The only not fun part is the fact that I can't turn off my scientific perfectionist brain, where it's really hard for me to not draw an animal as it is. I have to work very hard to be able to cartoonify some animals. Others, it comes really naturally to me, like fish, because I've been drawing them for so long, but paleo art in particular was a very fun experience of going through and trying to make sure that they didn't look really, really weird. Like, here is sketch number 1 of my cephalaspis, and here is the final. There's a big difference in the level of cuteness there. I think the real big question is, do I really even need a niche? The biggest problem for me is, should I niche down, is my art shop. It's kind of funny that half of my art shop is going to, well, over half of my art shop is going to be a big series of prehistoric animal stickers, and people are going to have to scroll past a sexy furry lady holding a lemon-shaped trident. Niching. Am I going to do it? Who knows? The goal is to find out in 2022. The next goal is to obviously start posting on YouTube again. It's probably going to be a lot less. I'm thinking that it's going to be maybe once a month, maybe twice a month if I can really swing it, but I have some good content planned. And if there's any content that you guys would like to see, I'm always open to hearing it. I have a few challenges that people requested, like, all the way back in 2019 that I really want to do still, and I just never ended up having the time. But boy, do we have the time now. Well, we have the time slots in comparison to me back then having way too many ideas for videos. The next goal is to continue to improve my color usage. I've spent a little bit of time reviewing color theory recently, and I'm starting to feel a little bit more confident, and making the switch over to being primarily a paint marker artist has definitely helped that a little bit. This page is in my classic medium of alcohol markers. It did start off as Sharpies. It did end up developing into more because I'm greedy. But continuing to improve my color usage and also my composition is going to be paramount to improving my art quality. I think last year, in my vague cloud of goals to myself, I also said, hey, I want to start drawing fan art. But that never ended up well, I won't say that didn't happen. I did draw these two, which were giveaway winners over on my TikTok, I think to celebrate like 5,000 followers, but I want to draw more fan art. If you would like some fan art, this is a brilliant segue, and I am also very, very sorry because I feel bad for plugging things that I'm selling, but I've opened up commissions. They're linked in my Ko-fi, coffee, however that is pronounced, because I hear 9 different pronunciations of it every time I hear it. But if you guys are interested in commissions, feel free to hit me up. On top of that, I opened my Etsy store on, I think it was March 8th of 2021, and at the end of the year I hit 26 sales. My goal was to hit 21 for the year because it was 2021, but this upcoming year I really want to hit 100 sales. I feel like an entire year is more than enough time, and I hope that that goal is lowballing it, but I also don't want to shoot for too high of a goal and then feel really bad about myself at the end of the year. So there you have it. There's why I left, how things went, and then what to look forward to as we continue on into 2022. I really thank you guys for sticking in with me. I think in the entire time that I was gone, I didn't lose more than like 5 subscribers. Then again, it's not as if people other than me, typically go through their YouTube following list and get rid of anybody who hasn't uploaded in 6 months. Maybe that's just me, but thank you guys for sticking around, and I hope that I will actually be able to stick to my guns and make more content for you guys this year. I'm not gonna push myself too hard, which is why we're going to go with, I hope, 1 video a month for the time being, but if I get a good enough backlog going, then maybe we will bump that up, especially with the amount of art book tours I have to do. But here is the finished page. There were so many times I thought, oh my god, this is so much on a page, but I absolutely love it. And I think overall my favorite part is still the little sturgeon guy in the bottom corner. Possibly second is the catfish trying to take the taiyaki from the mermaid lady, but I hope that you guys have enjoyed and accepted listening to me ramble. I hope that 2022 brings you guys brilliant things, and I hope you guys have an awesome day. If you'd feel so inclined, hit that subscribe button and check me out on my other social media handles. Thanks, and I'll see y'all in the next one.